Hi guys, thanks for watching Thinking of Selling Your Home. Now in this free DVD series you're going to reveal exactly what every seller must know before they decide to sell their home. Now this is part 3 of a 5-part DVD series. Now this is covering the 10 tricks estate agents use. Number 1, estate agents tend to overvalue properties. Now they do this because by giving you a higher valuation of your property, you're more inclined to give them your instruction. Now this can fluctuate considerably, anything from a few £1,000s to a large sum of money like 5 or even 15%. It does vary considerably. And the trick the agent will use is once they've given you or seduced you with the higher valuation, you're more inclined to sign up for them more or less there and then and give them the instruction because they've sold you on the benefits of they're going to achieve a higher amount of money. So just be careful of that. What also tends to happen is, especially in the current climate, it's a very difficult, depressed market out there at the moment. Things just simply aren't moving fast, so the price is absolutely paramount. Now what will tend to happen is they'll secure you on this higher price. Then you'll find it may be 6 or 8 weeks and nothing major has really happened with regards to achieving a sale. So then the next thing would be for them to suggest a reduction. So you're back to square one at the price you should have initially started at. So just be careful there of overvaluing. Number 2, it's complete opposite, but it works in a similar way. Undervaluing property. What tends to happen is if agents have some investor buyers on their books or people they know that are happy to buy a property from them that's coming below the market value, they'll tend to undervalue the property but sell you on the market conditions and say how depressed the market is. Take all the other valuations with a pinch of salt. This is what you're going to need to do if you want to sell the property by cutting the price so it's undervalued. Now, that's another trick that they use, so you need to be careful of that. And it may still not even achieve a quicker sale or a really quick sale. It may just be the fact of it's coming slightly below the market value, but it's still a very competitive market out there. So just be careful with undervaluing as well. Number 3 is fabrication of viewings. Now, when you're in a position that you're selling and it's been a considerable amount of time, 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks, and there hasn't been anything concrete, it's really frustrating for the seller. And what the agents tend to do at that stage is fabricate viewings. They just want to make it look like they've got lots of activity, so you can still have confidence and think they're doing everything they possibly can to sell your particular property. So they'll send some of their investor guys round to have a look at the property. Sometimes these are known as plants. They'll also send guys around which aren't really suitable for your particular property. Okay, so fabrication of viewings. Number 4 is not putting offers forward. This is another trick that agents use, not putting offers forward. Now to do this, it's sort of going hand in hand with number 5, preventing people from buying, because they're trying to save the property for somebody, maybe one of their investor buyers, maybe they're just keeping offers back. Then what tends to happen is you're more motivated to sell after you've been on the while for 8, 10, 12 weeks or so. Then you'll be happy to reduce the price, or when they suggest the price reduction, you're more inclined to accept it. So don't put offers forward with the motivation to get the price down. Number 5, preventing people from buying so they can buy themselves. Now, if they've been round and valued a property and used one of the other tricks above, for argument's sake, to undervalue number 2, because in the back of their mind, they're going to buy the property, or someone in their consortium are going to buy the property that they've obviously undervalued as well. So they can use any of the tricks above: undervalue, fabricate viewings, don't put offers forward, just to prevent people from buying the property so they can buy themselves. So you just need to be careful of that one as well, guys. Okay, number 6, fabrication of a buyer. This is a plan. Again, the motivation can be they want to buy or they want to hold it. Number 7, for one of their property investors, so they'll fabricate a buyer. Also, at the stage where you're about to jump ship because nothing has really happened, then you'll find they need to come up with like a last straw to try and keep you on board with them and keep the trust for that bit longer, so they can eke it out even further, so they can find a real buyer or their investor client. So they'll fabricate a buyer. This is known as a plant. Then number 7, we've already touched on this from the ones above, holding a property for their investors. Now what tends to happen is every agent will have a handful of, bread and butter investors, they're known as, that are always in the market to buy certain properties of certain types, certain caliber, certain prices, certain discounts, etc. So they tend to hold the property for their investors. They will effectively make nearly double their fee by selling it below the market value or undervaluing the property first of all, holding it for their investors so their investors are ready to go. They'll still get their agency commission from you, and they'll also get number 8, the brown envelope stroke backhander from their investor clients, which is nearly twice the amount of commission, maybe even more in some occasions, depending on how low they've undervalued your property. So double bubble for the agent. Number 9, losing keys and instruct viewings. Now this again goes hand in hand with some of the topics we've already, or the tricks we've already mentioned above. Holding property for their investors, holding property so they can buy it themselves. They need to lose the keys a few times, obstruct viewings, not be available, just anything they can do to stop other motivated buyers moving forward and putting a real offer in, so they can hold the property for investors or themselves. Now, number 10, finally, is manipulation. They will manipulate you with the market stories to suit their situation. Here's a couple of examples. At the start, when they're trying to win your instruction, they'll sell you on everything under the sun how they can achieve slightly more than your property's worth, or the maximum property value, or anything over and above and quicker than any of their competitors can do. They'll sell you on a story that they've had so many inquiries, there's a undersupply, there's so many buyers coming to the market, there's people on their books competing against other properties of this caliber. The market is really good for this particular type of property, so we need to move fast, get it on fast, so we can obviously secure that sale. Now, what tends to happen is 8, 10, 12 weeks down the line, when nothing major's happened and you're frustrated, ringing up, finding out, what's happening, what's going on, all these promises at the start, we was expecting we'd have been moved on by now into our dream home. Why has that not happened? We've only had a handful of viewings and no real offers. Then what they'll do is they'll manipulate you with another story based on the situation they're currently in, which will be, and here's another example, the market has changed considerably since we took the instruction on. People in the chain, or people that were in a chain, weren't in a position to put an offer forward due to their own constraints. The liquidity in the market, the mortgages are not easy to get at the moment. What's going on in the media has obviously, knocked the confidence of buyers, etc. So what we're going to need to do to tackle the market conditions is reduce the price to achieve that sale. Are you happy to reduce the price by 10, 15, 20,000 pounds? Just manipulating you with market stories to suit their situation, to keep the deal, and to try and keep you happy. Okay, now you can watch part 4 and 5 of this free DVD series and all of the earlier parts that you may have missed. Now, this DVD is what every seller must know before they decide to sell their home. Now, part 4, we're covering 10 tricks that We Buy Houses for Cash companies use. Part 5, we're covering 5 tips to selling in negative equity. Now, you can watch the full 5-part DVD series for free, guys, at www.assisted-sale.co.uk/free DVD. That's assisted-sale.co.uk/free DVD. Now, I really hope you enjoyed our free DVD, which reveals what every seller must know before they decide to sell their home. Now, if you're in a bit of a jam and you want to speak to a real person immediately who can advise you completely free of charge of the best solution to achieve your desired outcome with a quick property sale, all you need to do is simply visit www.assisted-sale.co.uk. Speak soon.